Welcome back, dear viewer. Today we're reviewing World Cup 2014's Group B, widely regarded as one of next year's many groups of death.
The fabled group of death. This is a term we World Cup buffs have been using for many years now to describe a group where well-known strong teams would be forced to play against other strong teams, and where the outcome would be the most uncertain. Although really, this one's only kind of half a group of death. You have defending champion Spain, who will have to face off against 2010 runners-up Netherlands. That's right. The opening match for Group B contains the very two teams who duked it out for the last match of the last World Cup. That'll definitely prove a factor for success in this group, but more on that in a second. As I was saying, this group has two big teams, and then there's underdogs Chile and Australia. The only reason Chile is touted as a surprise team this time around is because they're playing in South America, and South American teams tend to do well in their home continent, as they're used to the weather, the stadiums, and the crowds there. So Spain is the head of the group, facing off in Salvador against the Netherlands. Now, the entire reason Australia and Chile may even have a shot of getting out of this group alive is because Spain and the Netherlands have to inevitably take points away from one another right off the bat. The Netherlands have something of a grudge match against Spain, as 2010's final proved to be one of the dirtiest, foul-happy games ever. The ref was never forgiven for ignoring virtually every shove, every trip, and every damn karate kick, and allowing such brutality to go uncontested in the final, so much so that when it was time to present his medal for refereeing, both teams booed him. Did I say karate kick? Well, yes, I did. Keep in mind, this guy's wearing cleats. That's a potentially life-threatening kick. This guy was not taken off the field for this brutal challenge. Now put these two teams back in the ring together 4 years later, in a game both absolutely need to win, and watch the fireworks. So after what'll probably feel like World War III, Spain will take a nice long flight south to Rio, where Chile will be waiting for them. Spain then ends their group trip in Curitiba, mercifully close by, and play against Australia, fondly known as the Socceroos. The Netherlands, as explained before, have the unenviable task of having to start off against the defending champs, a team they've already had trouble containing last World Cup. However, this isn't the same Netherlands that Leonidased its way to the final last time. This one's a serious contender whom many underestimate simply due to their history. In qualifying stages, the Netherlands didn't lose a single game. They allowed only 5 goals while scoring 34 goals in 10 matches. That is over 3 goals per game. Like Mr. T in Rocky III, they have something to prove, and they'll beat down any team to show that they are not a team to ignore. Netherlands at World Cup have always been a force to be reckoned with, but surprisingly, they'll always fall just short. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. They've made the final 3 times, in 1974, 1978, and last time in 2010. Each time, they took second place. They're probably the most frustrated team out there when you get down to it. The Netherlands start off in Salvador against Spain in a grueling first match. Then they fly to Porto Alegre. It means happy harbor. And after a game with Spain, I'm sure anything will feel happy to the Netherlands. Anyhow, there they will face Australia, probably needing points. And finally, they'll finish off their campaign in Sao Paulo against Chile. Chile, unlucky underdog number 1, mercifully gets their easiest match first. Well, easy compared to the Netherlands and Spain, that is. Actually, the fact that both Chile and Australia square off against each other instead of having to face either of the two giants will mean that they will both desperately be looking for that first victory, and it'll be anything but easy for either of them in this case. They start off in Cuiabá, then Chile has to face the music against Spain in Rio a few days later, and finally go to Sao Paulo for their closer against the Netherlands. Chile virtually has to get those first 3 points against Australia and then hold out for 2 ties against the Giants if it wants to make it out. It's not going to be easy. Australia goes Cuiabá, Porto Alegre, then Curitiba. All 4 teams have similar travel arrangements, so that'll likely not prove as big a factor as with Group A. It's all about the order in which they face their teams. Australia gets increasing difficulty. Chile, then Netherlands, then Spain. They absolutely must ensure the 3 points against Chile if they want to even have any hope of making it out of their group. A loss against Chile is pretty much a death sentence for the Socceroos. Australia is also playing with one of the oldest teams out there, with guys who've been with the team for a long time. Some have even played the 2006 World Cup. Experience will not be an issue, but stamina could be. Overall, many people who are into the sport, experts, analysts, bookies, observers, and such, are all placing Spain and the Netherlands as the two clear favorites to make it out of this group, leaving the two underdogs behind. But they're all kind of ignoring the fact that Spain and the Netherlands have to inevitably take points away from one another to start off with rather than later. In 2006, we had an almost identical group, with Argentina and the Netherlands as the giants that time, and the Ivory Coast and Serbia as the underdogs that time. The difference was that Argentina-Netherlands game was the last of the three for both giants, which enabled them to both leave the worst for last. Both teams sailed through and then had a boring 0-0 tie at the end because both had already qualified, and neither one was concerned with even bothering to score in that match. This time around, the Giants are forced to play first. A win for either one of them leaves the other in a bad spot. A tie leaves them both in bad condition. So it's up to Chile and Australia to take advantage of this fact and duke it out in hopes of gaining leverage. I think this could prove the factor that allows Chile or Australia to upset and take the second spot. But it's still too close to call. This is an absolute toss-up here, but predict I must. And here's my crazy prediction. There is a much ignored statistic regarding defending World Cup champs in recent World Cups. They tend to get killed in group stages. The very next one. France was 1998 champ, and the very next one eliminated group stage 2002. Italy won it in 2006. 2010, eliminated in group stage. I think the Netherlands are hungry and will win their opener against Spain in a grudge match. Then Chile beats Australia by some slim margin. Spain will bounce back, beat Chile like they did in 2010. Netherlands beats Australia to secure qualification. Then Spain and Australia will both desperately tie. And Chile gains points off an already qualified Netherlands, smartly playing lax to ensure that they don't have to deal with Spain later on down the road. My crazy prediction is Netherlands and Chile to advance.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most balls-insane predictions you'll hear. But time will tell. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, hope you'll stick around for Group C. Till next time, dear viewer.